Good morning. This is Carrick Williams Photography LLC. We are a certified MBE, DBE, and SBE firm. Before I continue the introduction here, I just got to let you look around. This is what a great day this is. It's nice and crisp and cool for Florida. God just blessed us with another beautiful day. Wonderful. Our client today is WhartonSmith Incorporated. Their Tampa office is located at 4912 West LaSalle Street here in Tampa. The project manager for this and my main contact for this project and this job is Miss Helia Baxley. And her complete contact information will be listed on the screen while I'm making this introduction. Now, today's assignment is a project for the city of Tampa. And the name of the project is North Tampa Water Improvements Morris Bridge. Now, there are actually two locations for this project, and the main site, which is the first site and much larger site where we are today, is located at 17101 Donna Michelle Drive. That's here in Tampa, Florida, North Tampa, or called New Tampa. And as you see behind me, this is the New Tampa Wastewater Treatment Facility. And this is where the majority of the work will be taking place. Now, the second job site is located at 7400 Commerce Park Boulevard in Tampa, not too very far away from here. And this is a very small area at the south entrance of Liberty Middle School. Now, both locations are under the same official job name. So we're going to be recording the pre-existing conditions of both these sites now, I need to make a special note that we were out here yesterday doing part of this, so you're going to see two different dates on the date and time stamp. Okay, that's it. Let's get going. Alrighty, good morning again. We're ready to start the pre-construction video. We are now at the southwest corner of the property. We're at the entrance area. You'll see here that this water treatment facility for the city of Tampa is adjacent to the New Tampa Nature Park. So in the background you see a tank. That's the west tank, the southwest tank. So we're going to walk and start at just past the entrance to my right, which is south. We're going to walk over here and where that gate is, which is the entrance to the park, and then walk north, getting the perimeter of the site on the outside west side, and then we'll go on the inside perimeter of the site. Okay, now we are about to start. We are just south of the entrance into the water treatment facility. We're just inside the gate for the New Tampa Nature Park. We are going to start walking north. I'm looking to my right, which is toward the east a little bit. The plant is on my east. This is the gate on the west side. We're going to start walking north. You see, as I turn toward my right or toward the east, you'll see the signage, keypad to get into the park. We're going to take a close look at the fence. This is the perimeter fence for the plant. There's a drain. Fire hydrant. We'll take a good look at the fence. The fence itself is in good condition. Okay, again, I'm traveling north. I'm facing east, looking at the plant and the exterior fence. This is the chain link fence with a warning sign. You see the barbed wire up top is nice and tight. As we continue on, we'll see the barbed wire fence up top is a little bit slack, but it's all still in place. I'm going to walk back out. This is the back side of the the signage for the park. Looking at the shrubbery, landscaping, it's all in good condition. Again, I'm traveling north, looking toward the east. I'll look back at where we came from. That's the gate for the park. And first thing I noticed here, right next to the road is a pole, a green pole. You notice that that pole, about halfway up, you'll see an orange something there. It looks like there was a sign there, and that sign has fallen off or something, or come off. You'll see the second one up top. We're going to now look at close look at the base and the signage for the park entrance. I'm going to stop here now and turn around, and we'll see that there's a stop sign here. That stop sign is leaning toward the north. As I pass by, you'll be able to see how that sign's leaning. So I look back toward the east. See that stop sign's leaning toward the north. As we probably right here, we're going to turn back around and look at the overall area entrance. You'll see that we're now facing the interstate. We're facing west. This area, we'll walk out here so you can just see it, as trucks may be coming this way. This area has shows a lot of traffic has been out here. There's some ruts in the ground. As I walk out toward the edge by the fence next to the interstate, you can see some severe damage where heavy vehicles have come through this area. Okay, I'm going to walk back toward the east. I'm going to walk the perimeter, outside perimeter. Okay, as you see, as I walked in here, the entrance also has a lot of ruts where heavy vehicles have come through. We're going to start at the concrete wall. On the bottom, in front of the concrete wall, there is some electrical equipment. It seems to be slightly damaged. Wires exposed. And we're traveling north, facing east. We're going to note that on the north side of the gate, you'll see the first pole is leaning slightly toward the north. You'll see the U-bolt at the bottom is twisted. You also note that the barbed wire fence up top is slack. Getting a view of the keypad entrance and the ballards there. We'll notice that on the bottom there is a concrete pad Actually, there's two of them here. They both have something sticking out of them. There's a sign next to the ballards. It's a directional sign to use a call button for access. We'll note that the bottom sign has some damage. You can see it better from this side. There's some damage there on the bottom sign. Again, we're facing east and traveling north. Again, you'll see that the barbed wire fence is slack. You'll notice also there's two small fences. The fence at the gate comes and meets the other fence that's tied into the brick wall. Okay, we're now traveling north, looking at the fence area. Nothing to report here. We're facing northeast now, traveling north. Give a little ground, this little area overall view. We're going to stop here and note that there is a sign, survey control. I'm going to note that there's which I believe is a valve wrench behind the fence. As we get a little closer here, we're going to stop and turn around toward the west. And you'll note that there is a vault ahead, and there are some the small water valve there. We'll note there's a couple of PVC pipes sticking out of the ground. They are both bent and leaning. We'll note the ballards here, all pretty straight. I'm going to continue walking the fence line, traveling north. I'm going to stop again now and look. I believe this is the area right across. The ballards are here, and right behind the ballards to the east is where they've been coming through the fence. Make some connections here. I'm going to note that just almost directly in line with we're just past the ballard a little bit, you'll see on the ground, you'll see another water valve. And that's just this side of the fence. Next to the fence is probably about 6 foot away from the fence. We're continuing to walk north. When I get here, just a little bit farther north, we'll note that there's one of the supports for the fence is leaning to the south. And if you look at, for your reference, see that tree behind us, that's the second oak tree, counting from south to north along the fence line behind it. And then just north of that leaning fence post, you'll see where the barbed wire fence up top has gotten really slack and is hanging. You'll note that one strand is completely broken and hanging, and the other strands are loose. By the warning sign, you'll see again that the barbed wire is loose. We're going to note also on the ground here that the bottom wire is loose. You notice also there's looks like a metal piece of pipe sticking out of the ground. Directly across from that, we've got power line. We're going to note that one of the power lines on the south power line, south guide wire or support wire, is very loose. See that? It's just hanging. See how it's just hanging there? Pole's in good condition. But I will go around and make sure we cover that good. You'll see that the plastic at the bottom has come loose a little bit on the pole. We're going to continue walking north. We're going to note there's some old telephone pole on the ground, deteriorated. Another type of power box of some kind, maybe meter box, maybe. It shows some. This box shows some slight damage toward the bottom, right there, on the north side of the box. Again, as we continue north, we're going to look at the fence and note that the fence does have, the top barbed wire is slack. I'm going to note that, go back a little bit here, just past that box we just looked at, the fence has been damaged. Overall, the fence is in good condition. Just the top barbed wire in many spots is slack. Coming toward the end of the property here, again, you see the barbed wire slack. You'll see also this fence has some damage. It's been kind of crinkled, but it's still holding up good. We get toward the end of the property, we're going to look just west of the gate and note that there's some metal in the floor, in the ground here. We're going to note that the gate, I'm facing east now, the gate is leaning. It's got a big gap, and where the hinge is, not where the hinge is, where it opens and closes, but it is locked and secured with several locks. We're going to turn around. This is the end of the property. I'm going to go out toward the roadway and kind of give you an overall view. We're now traveling toward the south. We got the condition of the asphalt and the overall property to the east. Again, looking back over at that telephone pole we just passed a minute ago, we can see that that plastic on this side of it, at the bottom, has come loose completely. Probably about a good solid 4 foot off the ground has come loose. Again, we're traveling south, facing south, looking both south and east at the overall conditions of the roadway and the exterior perimeter of the plant. Coming up to the mailbox, again you can see the address, 17101. Looks to be in good condition. It's just dirty. I will note that that mailbox is leaning slightly to the right or to the north, as you can see. Now look back here and notice also that you can see, looking back toward the east, you can see that there are some pretty deep ruts in the ground where vehicles have gone through there. We're coming up on this is a protective cover here, and for reference you'll see that we are looking back toward the east at the plant. We're just before we get to the curve going into the plant. There's something inside. It looks electrical, but as you can see, the cover has been removed and is damaged. It is also leaning toward the north. And then next to that, there's a PVC pipe coming out of the ground. You see at the bottom is a chunk's been broken out of it, and there's a piece laying next to it. Notice a piece of the asphalt been broken off, we started going around the curve. And again, as you can see on the outside, going around the curve, you'll see those really deep ruts from some heavy equipment. Okay, we're gonna head in now and cover the inside of the plant. We are now inside the perimeter of the water facility here, and we're going to start where we left off at, which is at the front gate. I'm now facing west. I'm at the entrance looking out. You walk up. I'm going to go south and look at the south side of the gate. We'll start from the north edge of the actual metal sliding part of the gate. Look at the condition of the gate. Look at the concrete part of the gate. There's no damage that I can see so far. And we're traveling north, looking at the south side of the gate and the enclosure. All the electrical equipment behind it. We're now looking at the chain link fence. Again, I'm traveling south, looking west. This is probably farther than they're going to be going. I'm going to just show this area. I'm going to walking south, facing south. Now looking at the fence itself. I'm going to get about halfway around this tank. This is the southwest tank. I'm going to be paying close attention to the walkway around it, the concrete walkway around it. We're going to start here at the guide wire, which is probably directly, not guide wire, I'm sorry, ground wire on the west side of the tank, and start traveling around toward the north. And look back where we just came from. Look at the shrubs here, the trees, the greenery. Notice the condition of it. I will note that on the northwest corner side of the tank, this southwest tank, the concrete is uneven. One side's lifted up higher than the other. Before I go completely around this, I'm going to go and stop here and look at just next to the tank. There's some shrubs, hedges. Look at the condition of those hedges. This one is leaning a little bit. Nothing's been damaged. I'm going to go back over toward the main gate because there's a guard gate there. I'm going to note also here that there has been some digging here. The digging that's been done has not disturbed anything. It's just in the open ground area. There is, you see the tracks, but the tracks have not touched any of the greenery, the shrubs or trees. There is a tree here that is right directly behind the guard shack. I guess it's an old guard shack. That tree is leaning severely toward the west, but as you can see at the bottom here, what they did, the digging here did not disturb that, did not cause that. It's just leaning over. It's been there for a long time, looks like. But again, I get a wide view of that also and step back so you can see it. That tree is leaning severely to the west. I'm going to go in here, traveling back north toward the asphalt. I'll give it a look at that tree also, just at the bottom, because it is kind of funky looking here. You can see at the bottom there is some damage to the tree. Has been cut, but that's a very old cut. As you can see, the tree is not, has been laying this way for a long time. So we're now at the guard shack right next to the tree. We're going to walk around it. We'll note that the tree is touching the guard shack. We're facing north, looking at the south side of the guard shack. I'm going to walk around, not noting any damage. As I walk around, I'm going to walk right past this light pole. Looking at the bottom of the light pole here, the base of it. Not noting any damage yet, no. This is also a security camera. Back to the old guard shack. I would note that the bottom of the door there is some rubber hanging out of it. There's no damage. There is some damage at the top of the door where the overhang was. You note that you see how it's bent. As I walk around, we're going to note that there's a push to open button here, push to exit button. Two ballards are in good condition. Looking again at the guard shack, I would note that on the bottom of the guard shack, this is the northwest corner. There's some slight damage. at the base, and also some slight damage, very slight damage at the base of the southwest corner. Now again, an overall view of this area. I'm going to turn around now and start heading north, get the perimeter fence from this side. I'm going to note as we come in here that the asphalt has a lot of cracking. We're going to look at the light on the left or the north side of the entrance. Looking at the base. Also looking at the wall for the gate. We're on the north side of the entrance. I'll turn back around to my right, which is facing east, noting the directional signs here at the entrance. I'm going to go ahead and walk north, starting at the gate housing wall, and continue north along the interior side of the fence. All I see here is just a real small note that at the bottom there is some slight damage at the bottom of the wall. This is the north side interior. Okay. We're going to just note that top barbed wire fence is a little bit slack. The light pole, ballard. There is a box of some kind, probably electrical, next to the fence. Shows no damage, just some minor cracking. We're traveling north, looking toward the west, the northwest, looking at the inside of the perimeter fence. Coming up to our first oak tree. Show the condition of the ground around it and the tree itself. It shows no damage. I'm going to step back as I'm walking this way and note that there's a small parking lot here. We'll probably get again in a second, but a 3-car parking area showing the parking stops. I want to make special note that just west of the parking stops is a little tree, and it has a sign there. Sign says, in memory of Brian P. Humphreys, 1960 to 2007. Would note that the bottom or the north leg of that sign is damaged, bent. There's also a vault next to that. Again, we're still traveling north. See a PVC pipe at the southwest corner, and the hole in the ground. I guess there's been some drainage there. While I'm walking north, I'm going to go ahead and step back again a bit toward the east. Notice there's a flagpole. There is no flag flying. Just showing the condition of the hedges, shrubs and hedges in this area. flagpole. I'm going to continue going back toward the fence line. Before I go to the fence line, let's stop right here behind these hedges. Behind the hedges, there is a PVC pipe on the ground here that's just sticking up. There's also 3 covers, instrumental, control and power box covers. Going back, walking toward the west, back toward the fence. We've just passed that first oak tree. Walking directly ahead, there's another locked and capped, maybe a valve cover or something. There's a concrete pad around it. Coming next to the security camera and the box below it, cover box below it. Nothing to report, just mentioning it. Security camera's in good condition. No damage to the base, just ants. Again, looking at the inside of the perimeter fence. As I walk this way, I step back again, and just a little bit, a few feet, maybe 8 feet or so north of that first valve box we just saw, there's a green pipe coming out of the ground, goes nowhere. Next to that is something else is covered up there. You see that it is locked. The metal cover, protective cover. Again, we're looking at the fence line itself. This is the surrounding things surrounding it. As I continue, I'm stepping back some so I can see that there are another couple of PVC pipes coming out of the ground, and some more protective bases here for looks like water valves with a PVC pipe. This water valve base is severely leaning. It says by hand 276. I'll go around and show how that's very uneven. I'll walk forward toward the fence closer. Earlier from the outside we saw that big wrench valve. It may be for this valve here, but no damage. I'm going to give you an overall view of where we are. We're directly in front of the main large building. Continuing to walk north, facing west. Looking at the perimeter fence. Coming to another light pole, looking at the base. The light itself, no damage. I believe this is the area that they'll be going through. Directly behind the ballards outside. Coming up to our next oak tree. Now, just past the oak tree, well, not just past, just before I get to the oak tree, you see the oak tree here. Just looking back west, you'll see that same fence post that's leaning, severely leaning toward the south. We mentioned it from the outside, looking in. Then after the next section of fence, you'll see where the top barbed wire fence again is gotten real slack. You can see it's pretty taut up before that, and it just drops down and gets real slack right here. And again, just by that sign, the warning sign, you see where it's broken and coming apart. Again, there's no real damage. It's just maybe wear, but it's making sure that I note that. This is the third oak tree. You can see where we came from. Looking back at the south, we came around this way. It's the third oak tree. Going back toward the fence, we see the area I mentioned earlier where it's just the fence is kind of crumpled up a little bit. It's not broken. We're still traveling north. Next light pole. Right in front of that light pole is a meter box of some kind, maybe, but it's covered. As I walking this way, there's another power line. There's the guide support wires. Things in good shape. We're coming now toward the end of the property. You know here that this part of the fence is kind of high off the ground. You could, an animal or a person, if they wanted to, can get underneath there. But anyway, not important. You notice here where the top wire on the top part of the fence is gotten real slack. You'll see where this fence is kind of crumpled up also right there next to the support pole. We're at the end of the property now. There's a light pole at the very end of the property next to this green chain link fence. Make special note that at the bottom, the base, you'll see that the cover for that light pole at the bottom has come loose at the top. And this is way out of the work area, but just want to make sure it's covered. Do a quick scan of this area, just showing where the green chain link fence ties into the galvanized chain link fence. I guess maybe this is a cell phone tower or something here. Walk around this. I'm traveling to the east now and I'm looking north. You see the gate is pushed in. It doesn't look damaged, it's just pushed in. It is locked, secured. I'm going to stop here now and look back, give you an overall view of where we came from. This is the end of the property. This is the north corner of the property. We came from the south end of the property. We're now going to start again at the gate. We're going to head into the plant. We're going to pass the guard shack here on my right, which is south. Go back to the tank that's on our right side, which is the southwest tank, and do some more perimeter work before we go inside the building. So as we come in, we're going to pass the first security camera. We're going to veer off. We're going to notice first of all the cracks in the sidewalk. I'm sorry, in the asphalt. I'm going to go to our right here and go back to the tank we just came from earlier. Again, noting you can see the heavy equipment tracks here. There's not much damage. It's just it just came through here. We'll go back to that tank and walk around and note the condition of the tank itself and the walkway. I'm more concerned with the walkway. The tank's got some scratches and things on it, but it's way above. Again, you see some minor separation as I walk toward the tank. Again, this is the southwest tank. We're walking around toward the east. Again, looking at the groundwork, looking at the sidewalk, concrete sidewalk. But to stop here and back out from the tank, and you'll see an entrance. I guess you call this a small vault entrance that's open. You see the PVC, looking at PVC, looks like PVC. PVC line coming out of that that's bent, leaning down. I guess it's the drain line. If I can see down inside here, not much to see. Couple control boxes. And a large line. Again, heading around the this west tank. Right on the tank, you'll see the access panel secured in place. Valve wrench. You'll see some miscellaneous electrical and valves. I'm going to stop here directly across from that. North of that is another vault. We'll walk around that. As I walk around, you also see, just note there's more water valves here around. This entrance is closed. Noting the conditions of the stairs, handrail. I'll take a peek in there if I can. You'll see inside there's just some valves, very large line, maybe a 24-inch line or so down there. Okay. I'm going to continue walking around the west tank. I'm going to note there's 3 more covers in place here. Instrumentation, controls, power, they're all in good condition. There's some minor damage. There's a chip at the corner right here, and a little bit larger chip at that corner, which is the northeast corner. This will be the southeast corner. See right next to it, there's a piece of PVC pipe sticking out of the ground. We'll look back where we came from. See on my right, or to the north, the vault we just passed. Continue to walk around the tank. There's some minor unevenness, but there's no breakage, no really damage here. There's an access ladder to go to the top. I'm going to go a little bit more around the tank. Again, going now from the east side of the tank. We're going around toward the south side. We're going to only go about halfway or so. We'll note here right about halfway or so is so the walkway is a bit uneven. We'll look just a little bit east of that. There's another water valve. We're going to the last water valve I see over here. Get a quick picture of that. And also know there's a PVC line coming out of the ground right next to it, right behind it, just a little bit east of it. Okay, we're gonna head back and continue our exterior part of this recording. So walk back in. I'll know there's another short. I think this is PVC. Can't tell. Yep. PVC pipe coming out of the ground. That PVC pipe is it's been snatched off, broken off. You can see it's a closer view. You can see it's been damaged. Leading to one side. And just north of that, another PVC line. About 5 foot coming out of the ground. It's got a small dent in it, as you can see there in the middle. I'm going to start back here, just across from that west tank. Again, heading down the roadway into the plant deeper. Notice on our right here, on the right side of the road or the south side of the road, we notice another light. Sign, the base is, just shows wear, no damage. You're walking toward the east. Notice there's some minor damage in the road, in the grass area from some vehicles. We note the condition of the asphalt. It's just cracks, no real damage. Wear cracks, age cracks. To my right, to the south, we just passed and went around that large vault. You see the tank there to the south of me. But notice right next to the road here, just there's a PVC pipe coming out of the ground that's been broken. It's a short piece, probably about 10 inches or so sticking out of the ground. I'm going to note that there's a repair or patch or change of asphalt here. It goes from south to north, all the way to the end. Okay, we're now just going to pass by building number 33 and continue walking around the exterior. Just noting the condition of the asphalt roadway. Coming out to our next light. Now this light base does show some damage. You can see the base is broken, separated, cracked. Also, there's behind it, there's a PVC pipe sticking up, probably about 3.5 feet or so. Get a closer view of the base. As you see, it's broken all the way around. and severely damaged. This is the light that is directly south of building 33. You see building 33 right there, and the light's right here. If I continue to walk, head east, I'm going to note the electrical box and make special note that the box is not sealed level. You'll see how it's sticking up around there. Again, I'm walking east. I'm not going to go over there, but we're going to look across here and look to the south. To my right is the tank we went around. That's the west tank, the southwest tank. We're going to look across the field. We'll notice some more miscellaneous PVC pipe sticking up out of the ground. We'll notice a green pipe sticking up. It looks like it should have a wind flag on it. But back here in the back behind that, you'll notice that there are 3 covers. Where are they? All right, where are they? There they are. Okay, the 3 covers back there. This is an overall view of the area. Now, as I continue to walk toward the east, I'm still noticing all the cracks in the asphalt. I'm noticing there's a pumping station here. I'm going to take a quick view of this pumping station. It's not in the work area, that I understand, but just for safety's sake and documentation, we're going to look at it. This is the southwest side of it. I'm facing east. See the 2 ballards there in front of it? I'm now on the northeast corner, looking back toward the north-southwest. So we're gonna show where we are here, and we just passed that pumping station there, and we're looking at building number 32. I don't believe there's any work being done there at all. Just wanted to show it. We're going to head over to the east tank. That's the big tank on the southeast of the property. The first thing I see here is there's another light pole. I want to make special note that this light pole the base is damaged. You'll note here how it's half of it is leaning down, it's been broken. The ants have grown around it, have built their home around it. We'll also notice on the east side of it, the box light, the access door is damaged. We're now coming up on the southeast water storage tank. We'll note that there's looks like some digging here. Nothing has the equipment. You see the tracks, but you don't see anything has touched any equipment or anything. It's just open area. We'll see some stakes. Maybe these are marking stakes in this area. We'll note, I'm walking toward the east, trying to look toward the south here. I'm looking directly south now, where the digging took place. PVC pipe. You see it's broken at the top. I see a valve wrench in the ground inside the valve, and the ballard there, a stick marker and a short PVC pipe sticking up just east of that. Again, you'll see some concrete base. You'll see the ballards are leaning in toward the inside. The other ballard over there is leaning, when we just passed with the valve sticking out of it, leaning also toward the east. You'll see the water lines are leaning also. Another vault. Notice that they have some minor scraping damage to the concrete part of that. Continuing east with a PVC pipe sticking out, and more control boxes here for power controls and instrumentation. So we're gonna go back over to the west side of the southeast water storage tank and walk around. Look at the we're gonna walk around this entire tank, because behind this tank they're gonna do a little bit of work back there. So we're gonna walk around the whole perimeter of this tank and look at the concrete walkway. Well, we just start right here. Let's just start here. So we are now at the north, repeat, the north face of this tank. We're gonna start walking starting at this electrical and valves right here. Start walking around toward the east. Noting something on the bottom. What is this? Sprinkler. Okay. Start walking around the east of the tank. You see your first access panel in good condition. Not much to note. Ladder. We're just taking a look at all of the concrete walkway around the tank. We're now at the southeast corner of the tank. You'll see an access that's been cut through the wetland area. As I come around to the south side of the tank, I will note that there's a ground wire that is come loose from the support from the attachment there. The ground wire is broken loose. I'm now on the south side of the tank. I believe they have some work being done out here in this area. Coming from the tank itself, going out to what I guess is a wetland area. This would be the south access door. I'll note below that door, I'm in my shadow there, you'll see some concrete's been cut away right here and been replaced, patched. We're now coming up on the west side of the tank. Again, you see the ballards out, the PVC pipe is leaning. There's a valve wrench on the ground. I like to make note that just showing the shrubbery, trees, just to show how they look before any construction starts. We're now coming back around to the north side of the tank where we originally started from. Again, showing the walkway and all the area in the front of the tank. We are now going to start heading back toward the west. This concludes this part of the video. We're going to now go back toward the west and then get the parking lot around the buildings, and then do the interior of the main pump rooms, 1 through 4, 5 through 7. Again, we are traveling toward the west. We just passed the maintenance building to my north. Again, we recorded that earlier. We're passing the pumping station again. Again, noticing all the cracks in the asphalt. We did record some of this yesterday. I'm gonna go over it again real quick. On yesterday when we were here, this vault was open. So you get a chance to see a little bit of the inside of that. It's closed now. This is right next to the tank, right next to the another pumping room, I believe that is. You'll note here, I'm going to mention this I mentioned this in yesterday's video, just a line on the ground, and just some miscellaneous wires on the ground. It does look electrical. You'll note that the cover is off and it's just exposed. Again, we're heading back toward the west. Let me make sure I mentioned this. I don't know if I got it yesterday or not. I'm noting this enclosed area is semi-enclosed protective area on the south side of this building. We're going to note that there's a drain coming out of the building. The drain has, like it could have some minor damage to it, the pipe. Again, we're walking toward the west. That was building number 33, the chlorine building. We did not go inside that building at all yesterday. We're not going inside that building today either. We'll walk out front and start the next phase of the recording. We are now going to start doing a complete exterior walk around of both high service pump buildings, the large building number 29 and the smaller building. Building number 29 has pumps 1 through 4, and the smaller building has pumps 5 through 7. Pump 7 is not there, but that's what it's called. So we're at the southwest corner of the smaller building for pumps 5 through 7. We're going to walk to the north and do the large building first, and then we'll come around and do the middle, and then the south building, smaller building. Again, as I walk through, we're going to note there's a lot of cracks in the sidewalk in the driveway. I did note this. There's another security camera. That's the main entrance. We came in that way, and right north of the main entrance is the 2 buildings. Yeah, we're traveling toward the north, looking at building 29. Nothing much to report, just document the outside conditions. Outside, there's a crack in some concrete here at the corner. That's the southwest corner. There's cracks in the sidewalk. Looking at the front entrance, you see me walking and see my reflection there. Not really noticing any damage to the area. Let's go back here and look at this. There is some, I'm not going to call this damage. Well, at the front door, you'll see they had some wooden planter type borders here, and you'll see that those are all down and on the ground. This is the south side. This is the west side of the building. This is the south side of the building. Oh, I'm sorry, the west side of the building. And here's the other side here, the north side right here. That's the same thing. These borders are all damaged, laying down, worn out. Again, a quick pan will show that the overall condition of the building, the lower half anyway. See some more water valves. Security camera. I will note that this sidewalk here has a slight imperfection. It's at the corner of the building. As you walk around to the northwest corner, we'll make special note that the sidewalk here, first of all, in the corner, the extreme northwest corner, the sidewalk has been broken and replaced. It's cracked. You also notice that the sidewalk has also been raised up and it's very unlevel, uneven. It looks as if the tree roots have push the sidewalk up. Again, you see where the sidewalk is unlevel, uneven, and you see the roots coming from the oak tree. I don't believe anything at all is going to happen around this side of the building. We're just going to walk around and give you a quick overview. It's extremely windy out here. Again, just noticing the overall condition of the roadway here, as there will be some traffic. I'll look to my north a little bit. It's building 30. I understand there's nothing happening over there at all. I want to just make note of it. Just a real wide, high-level view of this large building, 29. We're on the north side of the building now, getting toward the end. Again, just some high-level views of the area, overall area. A couple small vaults there, some controls, the AC unit. Another vault here, noticing that the ballards are bent in toward each other. You'll note that the door here is not sealed the hole completely. It's so I can kick it, and it's loose. I'm going to show the AC unit, the piping. Again, we're on the north side of the building, looking toward the south. You get the AC unit and all the piping, electrical, entrance. Nothing much to report. We're now at the extreme northeast corner of the building. Walking through the back side, this is the east side of the building. We're traveling south, looking back west at the building. Noticing the AC units. Noticing that one does not have a cover grate on it. Entrance doorway. We are traveling toward the south between the large tank area here and the large building, number 29. I'm going to note there is some debris on the ground. A little bit of this may be included in yesterday's video. I want to make sure now we're at the southeast corner of the building. I remember this from yesterday. There's some damage right up here to that corner where the lines run from the AC back into the building. Been damaged there. A little bit more I'll show you in a second. Okay, so we're now again on the southeast corner of the building, looking at the AC units, and from here we're facing north, looking at the building. From here again, you can see damage on that pipe. And the other corner of it has a little bit of damage also. Walking around ACCU3. The one earlier was ACCU1, and this is ACCU number 2. On the back side, from the piping on the ground, I'm going to continue walking around the building. We're traveling west, looking north at the south side of the building. There's a, hold on a second here. There's a roll-up door. I'm about in the middle of the building here, I believe, or so. Again, I'm traveling toward the west, looking north at the south side of the large building. 3 more controls, covers, and meter box. And what we're going to do now is we're going to walk between the 2 pump buildings. On my right over here, this is the larger building holding pumps 1 through 4. My left is building that holds pump number 5 through 7. We walk through. If you notice in the back of this building, there's a blank in the wall. This is on the northeast corner. There's a blank on the wall. On the inside of the building, there is no pump there. We're noting there's some minor cracks in the wall next to the large building 29. Look at the condition of the pipes. I believe these are probably about 30, maybe 36-inch pipes. Again, there is cracks in the concrete next to the larger building. To my right, to the north. Make a little bit of note here that there's 2 valves behind this large pipe. And those valves have they're just leaning just a little bit. And so is that one, leaning just a little bit. We're now coming to still traveling west between the 2 buildings. We're going to note that at the smaller building at the bottom of the tank, of the line, there is a PVC plug. And that plug has some damage. We are now going to walk around the smaller building, get a complete view of that one. Again, noticing the cracks in the asphalt. We're now back at the southwest corner. We're traveling to the east, looking north This is the south side of the building. Again, noticing the cracks in the asphalt. I'm going to notice up top in the southeast corner, there is a wire coming out of the building and something else. I don't know what that is, but I want to note it. There's something coming out of the building up top. This is the south side of the building, the southeast corner. You walk around, we're going to note that on this corner here, the concrete is cracked. Again, this is the southeast corner. That corner is cracked. But note that Ballard is leaning just a little bit. We are now again on the complete east side of the smaller building. Looking at the door entrance. Next to the door there's an electrical outlet that is open. There's a wire tied to it. Okay, we're going to, we finished the exterior of both these buildings. We're now going to go to the interior of both these buildings. So they've already got the, they already have the door open for me. We are at the corner again, the southwest corner of the high service pump building, the smaller building, where pumps 5, 6, and 7 are. We're going to go inside that building and walk around and view the inside, record the inside. It's going to be loud in here. You should be able to hear me over the loud noise. So as we come in, we're going to look to our left, which is north, and see the high service pump number 5. We can't get to this side of it. This is the west side. Do the best we can here. Yeah, I can get through here. Okay, this is a small building, so I'm now at the north wall. You can see where the line goes, exits the building. We'll turn around and look at the pump itself. Again, this is the west side of high service pump number 5. This is the east side of high service pump 5. See some staining on the floor. We'll turn around and get the west side of high service pump number 6. This is the west side. Again, west side of high service pump number 6. now looking at the east side of high service pump number 6. As earlier mentioned, there is no pump 7. There is just a space for pump 7. This is the blank in the wall that I showed you on the outside. And this is the pad for high service pump number 7. There is nothing there. It's covered. And I'm now facing directly east, looking at the interior of the east wall. Level electrical. And we're going to head back out. Before I head out, I want to go ahead and record this interior of the south wall. And all the controls there. I'll note that the screen on the second set of louvers is loose at the bottom. And this is the door we came in. We're going to exit the building now. Okay, we are now going into Building 29, the high service pump building with pumps 1 through 4. This is a much larger building. It has a lot of open space, but it only has those 4 pumps in it. We're at the outside entrance now. We're going to go inside the building. As we come in, I look to my left. Again, this building's going to be very loud when we get inside. We'll look to my left, which is north. There's a door. We're not going through that door. I will look up, however, and show that there are 2 ceiling tiles missing on the north side of the room. I'll look to my right, which is south. There's an elevator showing a floor to top. I'll go back and turn around and look at the here's the door where we came in. Look up above that at the exit sign. I will have to note that there's some ceiling tile damaged, and it shows water stains. So there's 3 different tiles that are damaged with water stains and bowing and bubbling. And there's some other minor miscellaneous damage in the tiles, but nothing like that. You'll see some, again, just some minor stuff up here. But the major damage is up at the door. If you go into the building, to the main part of the room, we're going to look to our left. I was instructed that most of the work is to our left or to the north side of the building. We will scan the right side or the south side, but most of the work is going to be on the left side or the north side of the building. So we're going to look to our left, look back at where we came from. We came in the room. And we're going to look at the west wall. There's controls. I'm just noting this. There's nothing I see damaged yet at all so far. We're now at the northwest corner of the room. This is the north wall. Again, the north wall. And we're going to start here and look at high service pump number 1. It's the first unit as we come into the building, going from west to east. This is the north side. Noticing the control box. Notice there's some small oil leakage. On the northwest corner. We're traveling around and looking at the south side of the pump. Again, this is high service pump number 1, looking directly north at it. We're now traveling around, looking at the east side of high service pump number 1. We'll make special note that at the bottom there's some absorbent powder on the floor with some oil in it. Facing back north again, the north wall. There's a beam in the back. And now we're looking at the north side, the northwest side of high service pump number 2. I will note that at the bottom of the control box, there again is some oil absorbent powder on the floor. There's some oil stains around it. Traveling around now toward the north side. Disconnect. We are directly in front of high service pump number 2. This is the south side, looking north. Between pump 2 and 3, there is a hoist. This is an 8-ton hoist. I will note also some leakage on the, looks like at the seals maybe of the east side. We're now going through the change, looking at the east side of high service pump number 2. I will note also on this pump, again, there is some oil absorbent powder on the floor. Back of the north wall. We're now looking at the north side of high service pump number 3. I will note that at the floor by the control box, there is not any oil absorbent powder, but there is signs of oil on the floor. I'm traveling back toward the south, looking at the west side of the pump, motors. Now looking directly north at high service pump number 3. This is the south side. Special note that on the east side of high service pump number 3, at the bottom, there is not only oil absorbent powder, but also a bucket to catch the oil. Make sure I show that. Back of the north wall. Controls. And now finally we're at high service pump number 4. We're at the north side. In the background behind that you can see an oil accumulation pump. Look at that in a second. We're now looking north toward the south side of high service pump number 4. This is the east wall for this part of the building. We will be going into the other side of the building where the electrical is in just a second. Now looking toward the west at the east side of high service pump number 4. This is an oil accumulator. Really dark on this out. While we're back here, we're going to start looking up top at the cable trays. We're going to go from the east wall to the west wall. There may be some work on those cable trays. So again, that's the east wall of this room. Just an overall view of those cable trays. We're now back at the west wall. We're going to start now at the door we came in and just do a quick overview of the south half of this building. I was instructed there's no work going on over there at all, but just give a quick overview of the whole other half of the room. Okay, again, this is the door we came in. We're traveling now from west to east. We're looking south. As we get close to the east wall, we are going to go in that door and go into the electrical part of this building. I'm going to stay here and show you the entire east wall. You see the roll-up door we saw earlier on the south side of the building. And then I'm going to just pan around and show you this entire east wall. There's a second roll-up door, the northwest corner. All right, special note, we're going to go inside from the pump side of the building to the electrical side of the building. We're going in the door at the southeast corner of the pump side of the building. Again, very, very loud, as you can hear. And we are now at the corner of this room. This is the last section of the building. This is the southwest corner of this room. Entrance door. We've got electrical panels all around. So I'll be doing both sides as I walk around. This is the south wall. I'm traveling east. This is the back side of the next panel. This is a panel on the south wall. Workstation. This is the southeast corner of the room. Turn around and look back where we came from. Drain line cover. This is the east wall. Go down the next corridor, next hallway here. All right, this is, so you'll know, reference. This is the second set of panel boxes, control boxes. The first one was on the south wall. This is the second one. This is the third one. The second one is to my left, which is south. Third one is on my right, which is north. I'll be showing you both of these, both left and right. Back to the east wall. This is north. I'm facing west, looking at this open area. The back side of the third panel, you see the wall, the second panel, the third panel, is the back side of that panel. Continue traveling north. As we travel north, we're looking at the east wall. Look to my left, that's the back side of another panel. I believe this whole set of panels is coming out. This is the far east wall here. You see where, I guess there's a room behind that. Makes a little room. Exit sign. Workstation. You see this is locked. No access door. Turn around, look to my left again, and again, all you see is the back side of this this panel here. This panel here, I believe, is being removed. I do not believe this last panel, the bottom, is being removed. I'll make one quick note that on this metal panel, just south of the end panel, see they're separated. There's a stainless steel panel. There's a painted panel. At the bottom, on the base, there's a crack in the base. I believe that panel's been removed, so that shouldn't matter, but make sure I note it. Looking back around toward my north, we're at the corner of the building. This is the northeast corner of the building. This is directly east. We're facing north now. We're turning around. The door you see ahead of you is a door that leads back to, this is the north side door, the northeast door leading back into the pump area, and the roll-up door next to it. So this is the west wall of this room. As I walk toward the south, I understand and believe that the panels to my left are all coming out and being replaced. The panels to my right are not. Okay, here's a roll-up door. And more panels. I believe these are all staying. To my left are coming out. To my right are staying. Let's back out of this way. I'm walking south facing north, looking at both sides of this walkway. The old panels are coming out. To my left, which is the west, the new panels that are staying. What we're doing now, we're going back, we're walking backwards here. We're going toward the door we came in. Again, this is the third panel from the south we saw earlier. The second panel and the first panel. This is the door we came in, which again leads to the high service pump area out there. What we're going to do now is finish up with this second day. I'm going to finish up with where you're going to have some duplication of recording right here. This area is I recorded a little while ago, and this is where we started off yesterday, and you'll see as the tape progresses. And just have a little bit of an overlap, we're going to wrap it up. So we are outside now. We're outside of this third building. We've been through. In the background you can see the large building, high service pump, building 29, the large one. On my left over here, you just look way ahead in the corner, you can see high service pump building for 4, 5, 6, and 7. The chlorine building right here. And this is where we started off, and we're going to go right through here and show you. I see they've opened the hole up now. The same hole we looked at earlier that was closed. Look in there again. We'll walk through this area and show the chlorine tank, and we're going to call it quits. So I am south. I'm walking north. Remember earlier we looked over here and saw the wires on the ground. We saw this vault closed. Now again, that vault is open. I'll show you in there again from a different angle. what's in there. There was a pump in there yesterday, but you see the pump is not in there anymore. But you can see what's in there. Again, we're going to walk between the building here. Make sure I highlight the ground on that tank. The chlorine detector. Again, this is the chlorine building, chlorine room. We're not going in there at all. Just an overall view of what's in this area. And we're walking north on the east side of the chlorine building. My left over here, which is west, you'll see the eyewash station and the ammonia tank. And this part yesterday we did already. This is where the crossover is. I'm going to turn around here and give you an overview of the remaining of the job. So we're going to call it quits right about here. This is Carrick Williams Photography LLC. Thanking you again for the opportunity to work for you guys. It's always a pleasure. We can be in service in the future. Let us know. We're going to now watch what we recorded yesterday, which is going to finish this job, the exterior of the tank areas and the rest of the building and in the far east part of the building. And then we're going to go to Liberty School and finish that up. Alrighty, thank you very much. Okay, we're now on the south side of building number 33, which is the chlorine building. For your reference, this is the main entrance where we came in. To the left, you see that tank we just videoed, and the guys are there working now. Looking to my right and to the north, you'll see a section of the pump building 5 through 7. And this is building number 33, chlorine building. Earlier we passed by here, we saw the opening in the ground where the cover was removed. We're gonna walk through there, walk between this building 33 and the tank. We're gonna head to the north and walk through this area and record the building and the tank area and the surrounding areas. Okay, so again, we're gonna be walking on the east side of building 33. Earlier we recorded here the grading, the electrical work that's just been abandoned. It's just disconnected. There's an electrical outlet, there's some wires in the ground, there's some PVC pipe sticking up, a piece of it's broken. There's this line here on the ground. This is the opening we recorded earlier. Got a pump in there. We looked down in there earlier. And we're traveling north between building 33. We're going to start here. We looked at this earlier. We'll look at it again. This is the southeast corner of building 33. Again, you see some this protective box. Start walking north, we see a cover. Looking to my left, or to my left here, this is building 33. This is the southeast corner of this building. The door. I'm going to stay focused mostly on the building, show the existing conditions of this building. We're now at the northeast corner of the building. Right in front of the building, or east of the building, there is a water valve or a meter or something. I'm going to travel north some more and look back at the building. This is again the northeast corner of the building. You see the eye wash station. I turn toward the west, my right. You can see the fire hydrant, the ammonia tank, all the valves. I'll go real slow here so you can get a little closer to see the condition of the tank, the lines, the valve, the on-off breaker box. And I am now facing west, looking at the ammonia tank. We'll note that the ballards right here are slightly bent. The line is not straight, it's leaning toward the north some. I'm going to turn back around. So where we came from, we're looking south now. We came from the asphalt out front, in front of the buildings out there, walked in to the north across that opening between the chlorine building and the tank. I'm going to show the condition of the tank now. I'm facing south. Turning around toward the east. And we're going to just pan around the rest of the 360 here of this area. This is north of the tank. Turning around toward the north. We're facing directly north now. This is that north building we recorded earlier. We're going around the AC. This is that pump building 1 through 4, large building. Back around toward the west and the ammonia tank. That concludes this small section. Okay, next we're going to record a little walkway here. So for reference, we're looking at the ammonia tank here. We're going to turn around. There's the chlorine building we just recorded. There's that tank, and we recorded this area. So we're going to walk through this area between there's a walkway we came through from the east side of the chlorine building. We're going to walk east through this area to the vault ahead, straight through, recording whatever we see. So starting here, looking on my left, which is north, this is the pad area for this whole part of the complex. We'll look at the concrete. The concrete in this area is already cracked. Just north of that first steel support column. Notice the cracks in the sidewalk, in the concrete slab. Well, this is kind of out of the way. We're going to look way across here. I just happened to notice this. There's a base down there, and that base does have a crack going all the way around it, looks like. See the west side of it and the north side of it, is that crack in the middle? It's out of the work area, but I just wanted to show that. As we start walking toward the east, Look back to my left again. I notice the cracks in the concrete slab. I'm looking north now. Okay, I'm looking north. We just left that ammonia tank. Now we're looking north. It's the concrete slab. Get a quick overview of this first tank. Panning around more toward the east and traveling east. We stop here between, we see, what the heck? There's a, a paint roller. Okay, anyway. Just showing the ground area, the concrete slab area. We'll notice that on the north side of the slab, there's some severe damage down here. Around that water valve, and the slab is cracked here. Again, we're going to walk through this area. I'm traveling east, facing east. Looking north a little bit. To my south a little bit, we see a stairwell. Went up. We're the northwest corner of this far east building. I don't know what building that is. I think that's that maintenance building. That's the maintenance building we saw earlier. And we're going to stop here at this vault, walk around the vault. Existing conditions. There's some minor cracks, but there's no real damage. The PVC line coming out of the ground, leaning toward the northeast. And I'll stand back here and show you. This is where we just came from. As you see, this is the in the far distance. You can look way back there and you'll see that ammonia tank where we started, and we walked right through this area. We're now going to look at a line. I think it's an 8-inch line, and it's in the same walk area. We get closer, and that line, I believe, is getting removed. This is the line. Let me get here, show you where it is. This line, right here, right in front of that blue pipe. I'm going to just show you what it looks like in there, where it goes. And that line turns to the north. And goes around these tanks and travels north. I'm going to get that best we can. We walk north now, looking up. We're going to get a general shot of that area and that line. So that line comes through about right here. This is the north side of those tanks. Let's get a little closer view. Couple lines there. We're going to give you an overview of this whole area. We are on the far east side of all these tanks. So I'll give you an overview of the ground area. This is a drop off for trucks, I guess. 18-wheelers are back in here. We're looking directly west now. We're starting to pan around to the north. And just to give you an overview of where we are, we're now facing north. you'll see here, we're going to start turning around toward the east, noting the conditions of the asphalt, the cracks in the asphalt. They run east and west, north and south, and this one runs east and west for quite a distance. In the background, you'll see we're facing directly east now. And there's a boss lady back there. And the crew. We're gonna walk through these tanks and try to follow that line up there best we can. We're traveling. Here's a crack down here. Right at the where the asphalt meets the concrete, there's a kind of a curb built up with the trucks back in. We'll note that that's been patched already. If I can get out of the way here. Darn. See it right there? There's a crack there. There's several cracks. Let's just get this. There's several cracks in this this area. I'm going to get a slow pan area. This is the north side. Closer. Going down toward the west side, you can see the cracks. You can also see at the end there, there's some, looks like 12-inch boards around that area. You'll notice those boards show a lot of wear. I'm facing directly west now. This is the northwest corner. We'll note that in the center here, the board is damaged severely. Pieces broken out, the bottom piece is broken out. We're panning around toward see the crack in the board there also. This is the southwest corner. And this is the south side of this area. We're now facing directly south. So we're going to go here now and go through this area and try to trace this line out some more. We're going to start walking north in the work area. I'm going to note first of all on the southwest corner of this building, there's a crack in the column in the corner. You'll note here this piping, the cover is loose, falling in. I want to make special note, we're now facing directly west. We're just on the other side of the this ramp area we just filmed, and straight ahead there's a support base. That base shows a severe crack going around it. This is the east side. We're facing west. That crack is also on the south side. So this is the south side. You know where we are. This is that area we just recorded earlier where the truck's back in. This is the north of that. This is the south side of that base. This is the west side of that base. I'm sorry. This is the east side of that base. You can also see the north side of that base is severely cracked. So I guess I got to go to the other side, right? Okay, and the west side of that base is severely cracked as well. So this base is cracked all the way around, 100% all the way around. So as I head back in the work area toward the north, we get an overall view of this area. Again, you can see that crack in that corner wall of this last building here. You'll see that if I start walking in, looking to my right next to the building, you see the grading is up in this area. So the concrete is broken. Grading is dented, bent. stop and pan around. This is north. Turning back around toward the west. Again, you can see in the background that column, that support base that's broken. This is the second tank in. The first tank was on the exterior of this area. We passed all that. We looked up top. We came through with the truck back in. We're on the pad now behind that, which is north of that. This is the first tank. I'm going to walk through and just get an overall view of this area. We're going to then zoom up, pan up, and then zoom up and see if we can see way up there the line where they're removing some pipes. Just get an overall view of that area. We'll continue to walk north. I didn't make note of it, but there's some cracks in the concrete also down here. There's cracks. There's, as reference, there's that base that's cracked. Each of that base, there's a crack in the concrete right there. And there's a crack north of that, just north of this first steel pillar column that runs kind of diagonally toward this first tank right here. Still traveling north. As you see again, the grading is missing in this area. We're now at the northwest corner of the building. I'm going to stop and look around. There's another ramp for the truck to back in. We'll get to that in a second. I'm going to pan around toward the west, looking at the concrete, noting there's a crack running from east to west as a reference where we just came from. Panning around toward the west, this second tank in this area, you'll see right in the middle in the front here, there's that crack. Running east to west up to the opening. Again, an overall view of the entire area. I'm going to pan back around and continue walking north. We're now at the northeast corner of this section of the work area, looking back toward the southwest, looking at the corner of this last building. This is the northwest corner. We just came from that area. I'm going to start at the bottom here and look at the ramp. Notice how the concrete is cracked. I'm going to make special note that the handrail is severely damaged. There is no corner post. No corner post here at all. See it good there? And the whole entire area here is leaning severely toward the north. It's broken away from the ground. It broke away in the corner. We're facing west. This is the northwest corner of the property. We're now panning around toward the south. You'll see some minor cracks down here in the wall. I'm going to pan around to the north. We're going to go up first and look at, we can see those lines again where they're replacing. Look at that area. As I come down, I'm going to note that this is the last tank in the northeast corner. Another one of those blue supports has some cracks, not nearly as severe, but does have cracks in it at the base, this base support. This is the east side. We'll look here and see that the north side as well has severe cracking in it. And so it means I got to go around the other side too, right? Okay. And yes, the west side also has cracks in it. You see, this is the northwest corner. You also see behind it how that handrail is falling over. And does not show any cracks on the south side. And again, this handrail is just falling over. So this is where we came from. This is facing south. I just noticed that down in here, in the corner, there's a severe, it's like a crack in the wall. There it is. See a crack in that wall. So I'm going to do now, I'm going to pan around from facing south. This is east. We're facing north now. There's another vault. This is the absolute very corner of this part of the facility. We notice that this vault on the southwest corner has a crack. Here are more cracks on the south side of this concrete in the vault. And this is the view of this part of the facility. I'm now at the northeast corner. We came through that area, walked around. You can see in the background where the handrail is that was falling down. So we're going to stay this here and do a quick pan. We're going to start. This is the first big building we went through where it was pumps 1 through 4 to the left, which is south. We're facing west. I'm going to pan around to the north, noticing there's some cracks in the asphalt. As we look north, I look west. Panning around toward the north. We see a diesel tank, some diesel tanks back there. We're now facing north. Panning around toward the east. And now we're looking directly east the property, going out where the property ends. Again, you can see in this area there are severe cracks in the asphalt. And we're going around to the, turning around toward the south. This is where we came out. So we're going to start here at this northeast corner that vault is. We're going to turn, we're facing south now. We're going to turn around toward the far east and just follow this road and get a quick overview of this entire area, showing the asphalt, the cracks in the asphalt. You can see in the far distance, you can see the light pole there and the bollards. We're going to just walk this area kind of quickly and just see what we see. If you walking toward the east, facing east, looking to my left, which is north, we see a open pad there area. Again, we see another small vault there. Again, just noticing the area for prosperity's sake. Noticing there's two bollards there. Both of them are leaning. The one facing me there toward the south is leaning toward the north, and toward the west. The one here leaning toward the north. Again, showing the fire hydrant, the manhole cover. To my left, which is the north, is building number 34. There'll be no work done there at all. I'll just get a quick overview of that building. A couple more bollards there. We note here that the access door here is damaged. It's popping up in the corner. That's the southwest corner. And see, the whole thing is not sitting flush. See the ballard in front of that leaning severely. Again, we're traveling east, looking east right now, looking back to the north, looking at that building 34. Just kind of overall. Ballard in the distance, and again, the cracks in the asphalt. You see where some heavy equipment's come through the ground here and kind of tore it up. We're going to stop about here, get an overall view, do a 360. Well, let's go a little bit farther here so you can just see what we are. So we're now almost to the end of the property. Up ahead, you can see another access gate. She said we're not going there, but I'll just get a quick overview of that so we can see what's going on there. We're facing directly east. We're panning around toward the south. In the distance there, we see building number 35. Make special note that you see that light is hanging down right above the 35. Is hanging down severely. There's a light there. There's like a little storage area back there. We'll note some damage to the fencing in the gate area. panning around more now toward this is getting to the south. First thing we see here is a ballard that's bent and leaning toward the north. The distance, we see some large, looks like maybe 36-inch pipe or so, way back there. We're panning around now to the west, and this is where we just came from. We're now facing directly west. This is the east side of that building. Just a quick overview, she said. Again, we're facing directly west now. And you can see the plant there in the background. I'll get a closer view of it. So we're going to start here at this northeast corner that vault is. We're going to turn, we're facing south now. We're going to turn around toward the far east and just follow this road and get a quick overview of this entire area, showing the asphalt, the cracks in the asphalt. You can see in the far distance, you can see the light pole there and the ballards. We're going to just walk this area kind of quickly and just see what we see. If you walking toward the east, facing east, looking to my left, which is north, we see a open pad there area. Again, we see another small vault there. Again, just noticing the area for prosperity's sake. Noticing there's two ballards there. Both of them are leaning. The one facing me there toward the south is leaning toward the north, and went toward the west. The one here leaning toward the north. Again, showing the fire hydrant, the manhole cover. To my left, which is the north, is building number 34. There'll be no work done there at all. I'll just get a quick overview of that building. A couple more ballards there. We note here that the access door here is damaged. It's popping up in the corner. That's the southwest corner. And see, the whole thing is not sitting flush. See the ballard in front of that leaning severely. Again, we're traveling east, looking east right now, looking back to the north, looking at that building 34. Just kind of overall. Ballard in the distance, and again, the cracks in the asphalt. You see where some heavy equipment's come through the ground here and kind of tore it up. We're going to stop about here, get an overall view, do a 360. Well, let's go a little bit farther here so you can just see where we are. So we're now almost to the end of the property. Up ahead, you can see another access gate. She said we're not going there, but I'll just get a quick overview of that so we can see what's going on there. We're facing directly east. We're panning around toward the south. In the distance there, we see building number 35. Make special note that you see that light is hanging down right above the 35, is hanging down severely. There's a light there. There's like a little storage area back there. Would note some damage to the fencing in the gate area. We're panning around more now toward this is getting to the south. First thing we see here is a ballard that's bent and leaning toward the north. The distance we see some large, looks like maybe 36-inch pipe or so, way back there. We're panning around now to the west, and this is where we just came from. We're now facing directly west. This is the east side of that building. Just a quick overview, she said. Again, we're facing directly west now. And you can see the plant there in the background. I'll get a closer view of it. I'm now here again at the northeast corner of the property. Another quick pan, a little closer pan of the area, starting from the northwest corner, panning around toward the west. Now looking toward the south. See some storage area here for the WhartonSmith vehicles. Now also again now facing south, we can see the ballards there. You see the light pole, security cameras. If I look down the way here, I see one of the ballards for that middle light pole. She's leaning. The northeast ballard is leaning severely toward the west. And then at the last light pole, the first one, the south light pole at the bottom, that ballard too is leaning toward the west. Again, this is an overall view of this area. This is the last tank, south tank. Facing west. We'll start again here. We're in the middle of the east side of the entire facility. Again, looking south. I'm going to pan around toward the west. Going around now toward the north. Again, you can see those couple of ballards that are leaning right next to the middle light pole. Way again just to have it. We're now at the southeast corner of the property. We're facing north. We're going to pan around, get a wide view, starting from the north, going toward the west. We're now facing west, turning around toward the south. I'm going to stop right here and just zoom in a little bit and just show this area again. I think we got it earlier, where that vault cover there is not flush, and also at the bottom there's a in the north east corner the concrete's cracked. As we turn around, we're now facing the south tank.
It's okay though.
Let me make a correction here. This is the east tank. It's the tank on the south part of the property. This is the east tank. We're going to start the second part of the video. This is the second location, which is Liberty Middle School. We're at the south entrance to the school. We're facing north. We got a small area here. We're going to walk around in a big oval shape. We're going to travel north and come around a little tree area and come back toward the south. Okay, so again, this is the Tico truck blocking the way, but this is the south entrance to the Liberty Middle School. Okay, as we start walking toward the north, take note of the condition of the roadway here, the turn in. We're going to note also on the sidewalk, the very first section of concrete walkway here, sidewalk, is cracked in two areas. The second sidewalk section is also cracked severely. Again, we're noticing cable box area. Looking toward the west, let's go up and look at this real quick. We are right here at the Liberty Middle School sign, and the sign looks good up top. As I come down toward the bottom, you'll note that the bottom is severely damaged. So since I'm here, we're going to walk around that and look at it. This is the south side and the east side. Again, you see that it's been damaged. Okay, you can see here on the north side as well, there's damage there. And when I get around to the west side, at the bottom, you're going to note that there's damage there as well. And as we look up, the panel here has been damaged. I'll get you a better view here. You can see here now that the panel screws have come out and the panel is warped. This is the north side. I'm looking south. You can also see this other side here where it's damaged, how the panel's coming off a little bit. Up toward the top, again the same thing. You'll see where the panels come loose from the pole itself. Right here, just next to the last zero on the address. How this whole bottom area has been damaged. We're going to continue walking north. Tico guys spraying his yellow paint here. But notice there's a crack in the sidewalk here. Just get out of the sunlight. Get out just east of the sign. Here's the school sign here. Come down to the sidewalk. Look right there. There's a crack in the sidewalk. The next, another 2 sections later, you'll see where the one part of the sidewalk is higher than the other side. I'm facing west, just north of the sign. We go 2 more sections here, just north of the power box. We're going to note that the sidewalk again is raised. You got the north side higher than the south side. You can see it closer here. Look back toward the south of the sidewalk, and you can see again where those sections of sidewalk are different color, different texture, and they are lower than the other parts of the sidewalk. As I look back toward the south, we'll see the no parking sign. It's in good condition. Again, we're looking back toward the south, looking at the sign, school sign, and the entrance. We're going to continue walking north. There's a street light pole here. It's in good condition. We're going to note the roadway here, starting from the entrance. Some minor crack in the curbing. Another minor crack in the curbing. It's a minor cracks, but it's just no real damage, just some cracks. Looking back now toward the west, toward the school. Get an overall view. See, we have a water main, a water line valve. And we're traveling north. Coming to where the work area really will be. See some staging of the protective barricades. Looking back toward the west at the second. Here's the first tree. The first tree shows that it is leaning a little bit toward the east. Looking west at the second tree has a red, white, and blue ribbon wrapped around it. We're going to continue walking north. The sidewalk curves right in front of the power box. Directly in front of the power box, you'll see you'll see that the sidewalk is cracked. And then the next couple sections have severe cracks in them. You can see them as a wide view right there. And then as a reference, you'll see the power box, then the crack in the sidewalk, and additional cracks in the sidewalk. That's three sections of sidewalk that have severe cracks in them. Take a quick look around the power box. I'm traveling west facing south. I'm now traveling south looking at the west side of the power box and the base. And the south side looks good. We're going to continue going just around this little area. We're going to continue walking north on the sidewalk. Go out to the street area, make sure we look at that area. Traveling north, recording north. Looking back toward the west at the sidewalk and the shrub area. Let's make sure we get a look at the shrubbery area. Again, we're facing west. The school is right behind these shrubs, hedges. Facing north now. As we continue north, we're going to just note the condition of the roadway. Water valve. There's another water valve, and this water valve, make note that it is it is protruding above the concrete case. This is about the end of this length of this work area. We actually passed the work area. We're going to go around, look back. You'll see the entire work area where we were, where we came from. Looking south, I'm going to travel north. As we get back to the, so you see, this is the parking lot in front of the school. See the school in the background? You can note that we turn back around to head back south now. There are 3 water, I guess they're water, 3 boxes here. And I'm going to make special note that the middle box has been damaged. 3 boxes. You can see in the background there's a slab of some kind. We'll look at it from a different view when we get around the corner. Again, we're going to be traveling back south. You can see there's some minor, very minor damage to the curb, to the asphalt here. There's a water valve. I'm right here at the north end of the site. There's a water valve here. This is just before we get into the actual parking lot. As we start to walk around, we'll note just the condition of those hedges, shrubs. I'm facing east. There are some wooden stakes in the ground with a rope through all of them. If you take an overall view, you can notice from an overall view, these stakes are just kind of stuck in the ground. They're not fully secured. They're leaning. Various stakes are leaning back and forth. They're just a deterrent. When we walk by, we're going to show the condition of we're heading south now, looking south. This is a school behind us. We're going to turn around and face south and travel south and look to the east and the south at the roadway and the surrounding areas. We'll see that middle tree that has a ribbon around it in the background. Again, you see several of these wooden stake temporary deterrent fence poles are laying down, leaning over. There's a light pole here. This is the second light pole from the corner. It's in good condition. You'll see here, before I go any farther, next to the light pole, there's asphalt that's been replaced. This is running from east to west. There's a power box, caged in breaker box there. And I'm gonna just make a little note here. This is way off the property, off the work site, but just in case, take a special note that there's some slight damage to the fence around this contained area. We are looking southwest. We're at the edge of the school property. We'll note here that bottom of the fence cage has been damaged. All on the bottom. This is the north side. We'll notice also that the gate is not locked. and is open. I'm going to also just happen to go around here just in case somebody says something, and note that we're now looking kind of northwest. This is the southeast corner. We'll note here that this corner is damaged. The fence at the bottom is damaged. And just give an overall view of that that area. And again, you see that gate is not locked, and it's open. So we just left this area here where the front of the light, the second light from the entrance, with the asphalt has been replaced. A small section running from east to west. We are looking toward the east. Again, we see how a lot of the little wooden stakes are leaning. And we're coming back toward the end of the property now. This is the very south corner of the property. There are two stainless steel gates. This is the gate on the east side. We'll look around that. Look at the base. Okay, again, this is the east gate. You can look down the property again and see where we just came from, also noting the wooden stakes leaning back and front, back and forth. As I back out, you'll see there's a entrance sign here which says no parking on grass or pavement at any time. That sign is leaning slightly to the northeast. I'm turning around back again toward the west, and this is the other entrance gate. This is the I guess this will be the south gate, south side. I'll give you an overall view in just a second. This is next to the sidewalk next to the school. I would note that just a couple of these things are just kind of loose. They're not broken off, they're just not loose. The covers for the main boats. I'm going to go out to the very edge of the property. You'll see the stop sign here, which is leaning slightly to the left or toward the north. We're going to come back here, face north again, and get the overview again of the entire area. And that's going to conclude the recording, the pre-construction video for this project. This is Carrick Williams. I thank you very much for allowing us to provide this service for you. Please feel free to contact us again in case you need us. Hold on a second. I see another crack I didn't get. Look down here. This is, again, we're at the entrance. This is the sidewalk kind of across the street from the entrance, but just in case, there is a crack right about there as the sidewalk starts. There's a couple of those, one there and one on the other side of it. Okay, we're done. Thanks again, folks. My pleasure. Be sure to call us if you need us. Have a great day. God bless.